Yeah, and I feel like as humans, we're obviously emotional creatures, and we have knee-jerk instinctive reactions to issues of injustice, and then we can easily begin to then portray them as systemic. I mean, in your book, you obviously cover Michael Brown, but also you cover loads and loads of other progressive myths, as the title says. But what's interesting about them is you give different quotes from famous people who've kind of heard something, given their opinion on it, whether it's in a newspaper, on air, or on radio, and then that's all they've really ever done about it. But it's really interesting seeing how many people would say something like, the Michael Brown situation is blah, 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 like condemning what the cops did without allowing the FBI investigation to take place and then commenting once they have the facts. And I think this sort of dives into the sort of cultural element where we've got individuals who are saying things because they just want to be saying the right thing, and also the reality that there are systemic injustice issues. I mean, last time you were on the show, we both spoke about veganism and ethics for 2 hours or something. It was a great conversation. It'll be linked in the description. It'd be interesting to kind of hear, do you think that these progressive myths are sucking up all the oxygen and stopping us as a society from focusing on actual systemic injustices?
Yeah, good question. And the answer is clearly yes, right? So, you mentioned our previous discussion about veganism, and it's if you want to talk about oppression, how about being kept in a tiny cage for your entire life and then being chopped into pieces so that other people can eat you? That seems pretty oppressive. That is way worse than somebody using the wrong word to refer to you. I would rather have somebody misgender me 1,000,000 times than live in a factory farm. Okay, so, and, well, you might think, don't worry, we can attend to both of these. We can address both problems. Yeah, but, it's one of these is getting so much attention, it just seems like maybe it's taking time away, right? There are all of these activists who, they've got a finite amount of time and energy, right? And it seems like they're directing it to much smaller problems when they could be directing it to this much huger problem. That's not the only one. If you're concerned about the plight of black people in America, and, fair enough, black people are doing worse than the average American. So maybe we should be attending to that and trying to do something about it. But what's the, even if you're focusing on just that issue, what is the best way of focusing on it? Is it to have white people sit around and talk about how bad they are? Or is it to give people sensitivity training, or have people use the right words and the right language or something? Is it having people post black squares on their Twitter account? Is that going to help black people? That doesn't seem like that is the best, no, we need to do something that's more tangible. We would have to go to the schools in the black neighborhood, maybe maybe we could have, and I don't know what should be done, but this is just the kind of thing you might think maybe we need more security in the inner city schools so that the kids could be safe, right? So maybe they could do better in school if they were physically safe, right? Or you might think maybe we should have school choice. We need to improve the quality of schools. Maybe we could do that by having more competition. So maybe we could do that if the parents could take the money that's being spent on their kids and take it to another school. And then, okay, quality improves, and then maybe education improves. So I don't know if those are the things to do, but those are the kinds of things that we should be thinking about. Not thinking about white liberals in the suburbs having meetings to feel their whiteness and stretch out of their white privilege or whatever, right? Yeah, and so it just seems like a lot of the stuff that the woke people are doing is distracting from better things that you could do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, a lot of the progressive myths that we see have their fingers on an actual issue, but have gone down extremely bizarre tangents and rabbit holes, trying to kind of almost not make it into more than it is, but to derail it into something entirely different. Racism is a thing. Sure, it was much worse. Look at the 1800s, and then look at the 1960s and the progressive movements that began to take place there, and then kind of where we are today. We're a far cry away from where we have been. There's obviously more that we can always do to improve the situation, but we're so busy kind of, having to identify our whiteness, whatever it is, blah, 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 that we're not actually able to deal with actual racism. We're always coming back to this sort of meta racism. It's essentially like progressive myths are trying to create meta issues out of primary issues, and the primary issues then get neglected and forgotten about, and we're so caught up letting all the oxygen get sucked up by the fires of these meta issues. It's a real shame, in honesty. We could be so much further along, and progressive than we are because of the progressive myths. It's a bizarre, like, tail wagging the dog.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, you might say like, okay, so progressivism is about progress. They want progress, and they say that they want racial equality, right? But the things that they're doing are not promoting progress. Okay, so like if you suppress dissent, which is like a big part of what the woke progressives are doing, like suppressing dissent does not lead to progress. That's never been the case in history. Like suppressing dissent prevents progress. Okay, and then we want to end racism. Well, the way to do that is not to make everyone super race conscious and like constantly talk about their race. They're like, I think the progressives might be the biggest source of racism today, right? And like if you want to help minorities, like I really don't think that racism is like in the top 10 problems, right? So like low quality schools, that's a big problem for minorities in America. It's not really racism. It's not like the teachers hate black people, not even implicitly. It's not like they unconsciously hate the black people, whatever. No, it's like more tangible problems. Like the school's falling apart. There's violence in the school. Like the kids are not coming to school. There's too many drugs. There's too many gangs, whatever. Like it's tangible things like that, not like the unconscious attitudes or something.
Yeah, tangible things we can actually do something about, and we aren't because we're so busy doing other things. It's frustrating. If you enjoyed this clip, head on over to Locals to watch the full conversation right now. Supporters can access the video version, and everyone can freely listen to the audio-only version of the conversation. If you're on YouTube or Rumble, please like, subscribe, and then hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a new episode. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.